how many have these old frames? You're a sucker like I am, and a box at a sale, and you're like, oh, look at that one, look at that one. And next thing you know, you just have a hoard of frames. So is that a true story or what? I don't know what it is about frames that you see this box at a sale and you have to go digging through it, and you're like, well, I like this one, I like that one. That one doesn't have the glass, but it's rounded, and that one does have the glass. And the next thing you know, you're going up to buying a whole bunch of frames, and then you put them in a box when you get home. So now, which frame to make over first? So we have a beautiful oval detailed frame, no glass, but the age is just marvelous. Oh my goodness. So sucker for these. A rounded frame that does have the glass, but is just kind of ho-hum. Whether that's the original picture in there, I have no idea. And then this one was just cool because I liked like the little mid-century modern vibe that the frame had going on, though the frame is bigger than the glass that's in it. And yes, we are a sucker for those piles of frames. And yes, and then no backing to this one. It's been taped in. Curiosity. Let's see how we open. I think I don't know what I need. A screwdriver. It has little twisties, and this frame is actually plastic, and it's not opening up very easily. Well, they're disintegrating anyway, so we'll just pop them off in the hopes of not breaking the glass. So, plastic frame. Oh, looks like this is just not an original picture. So to back this, I'm going to be using some old music sheets. I have tons of these that I pick up. A lot of times it's like the church's like free box when they're having a sale. Maybe this one's written on, because a lot of times they were lessened. Somebody was doing a count. I like that one because it had closer together, but so I'll go ahead and do like a backing on this. So that's going to be pretty in itself. I ordered these pressed flowers off of Amazon for another project, and I have not used them all. And I thought they would look beautiful with this oval frame, though the color of the frame doesn't really do anything. Not so much fun because it's plastic, but you can paint plastic. So thinking of what my theme is and my color, and knowing that I want to put that music paper, now that I have those elements together, I can go ahead and pick my frame color. Now, as pretty as this paper is, I would like it to have some more age, because it's the outer page that has the age. It's kind of just cream. And then I'm going to do some coffee dyeing on it just to give it a little bit more age. So I just have a spray bottle with just plain water in it. Then we're just going to add some of the instant coffee to it. Give it a shake. It's all melted now. And then I'm just going to mist my paper. Not too awful much, but just enough to give it a little bit of definition and color. And then I'll sit it off to the side and let it just dry on its own. Before I can paint a plastic frame, as you see, it's shiny. I need something to help paint grab onto it. If I painted it as is, it would just come off. So first I'm going to scuff sand it with some 80 grit. Yep, you can sand plastic. Scrapes up just like anything else. Now that I have it all, it sanded okay. It did. So now I'm just going to take a wipe and then just going to go ahead and make sure that it is cleaned off. I'm going to do a couple coats of shellac on that. That'll also help the paint grab onto this. I've got the roughed up areas, and now we'll just do a little bit of this. Now for my paint color, I'm going to be using Sweater Weather by Melange. Oh, I think it'll go with the orange. It doesn't have to be matchy-matchy, just complement the flowers that we're going to be putting in here. So I'm choosing this because it's all in one. It's got the primer and the top coat and the paint all in it. So, oh, is that not a nice surprise? These kind of redoing frames like this remind me of mid-century modern, the 60s, 70s. So it's fun to go back and do those colors. So we have our frame painted, and the only thing I'm going to do to the frame, this is 3 coats of paint, is I'm going to add some aging wax onto it just to get into those little crevices and give it that little bit of, it's been around for a while, not I just painted it kind of look. See how it'll get into that little detail and not be perfectly new painted. I'm going to go ahead and get this put on there also. This has got a little bit of texture on it, so it might take a little bit more. But the glass is holding it down, so this is just really, I didn't necessarily even have to glue it, but other than I wanted to make sure that I have this shape, and when I go to put the dried flowers on there, let's look at the back. I think it's pretty level. Go around and cut off that excess. When you buy this pack, it actually comes with little tweezers, which I never realized I needed in my life, but it definitely did. So now they're not together, they're all separated. They just all are pressed. So I'm just going to kind of take a look-see at them. Okay, so I'm going to start putting them on. I was looking for like what was the biggest ones that were on here. Really nice background ones, so I might move those off for a second. Be sure to check out both sides because I think there's more color on this opposite side. Oh, definitely more color. So I had to turn it around so I could see. Just trying to flatten it a little bit. Okay, after some good glass cleaning, all I'm going to do, let that one dry, is we're just going to let the pressure be the pressure and then put it in the frame. Oh, that matches so well. Oh my goodness. So I'm hoping I can get these little, I call them duck bills, like they hold in the glass, the back of this. Okay, for the frame that I think is just awesome, I love that height of the depth of it. Wish it had a backing, but it does not. So we're going to go ahead, and they safely tried to save the glass, whether it's the original glass, I don't know, but but I do need to make it a little bit thicker. So I have a piece of cardboard, just some that I cut off a box, and then I'm just going to cut it to match to size. Let's see if that is thick enough yet. I was kind of curious to know if I was going to need two. I think I need two like that. That'll thicken that up so it's flat on the back. So yes, let's try two. We've got the glass, and then, oh, much better. So actually for my design, I'm going to just actually hide the glass in the middle of these two and then do my design on the cardboard. That way it gives it some stability, nice and straight, strong. But then whatever I'm going to create, I can create on the cardboard box piece. So the thing I liked about this frame is that it did look old. It had that wood vibe to it. So I'm not going to paint it. I can't imagine painting. My vision isn't to paint this by any means, but it is all scratched up. So what to do to get rid of those scratches? Well, Howard has some wonderful restore and finish that will make those disappear. Love this stuff. So just on a shop cloth, a little bit of Howard's. Look at all those. Do you see all those? Oh, and it's like magic. You just wipe it and then they are gone. Is that not crazy? So instead of painting something that looked worse for wear, look at that. And it'll dry just as nice. Oh, beautiful. So then you wipe on and then you wipe off that excess. So I did the same thing. We're going to do music paper on this also. It's dried. So I'm going to just do some Fusion's transfer gel on the cardboard itself. And then I kind of want like to try to, you know, make this so it's kind of centered in the middle. We can hope for the best. See, it looks a little crooked on here, doesn't it? It didn't look crooked on there. It's not set yet, right? Ooh, that was nervy. Gonna go ahead and cut some of that off that we don't need. Yes, I'm going to be making some of the toadstools mushrooms. I'm not going to be able to fit very many on there at all because this is, you know, this is small. So probably like in there and some of these. And so I'll just have fun playing, trying to come up with what will fit on this. Now I could have switched it that way too, but I would have had to remember to put my paper that way. But so there was the option too. I could have changed the frame up, but it's all good. So to make them, I'm going to go ahead and use the Amazing Casting Resin because I like how fast this sets up. Okay, so it is a resin, so it's equal parts. Whew, I finally used up my first bottle, and I've used this a lot. I've made a lot of projects with these bottles. And look at that. An exact match there. So then you pour both parts into another container. This is just a little silicone container you can get from the Painted Heirloom, which makes it easy to pour. So then you just stir it until it turns clear. Okay, so I know this is probably my biggest one. Use the little popsicle stick to help push it in. That was a viewer suggestion. I appreciate any suggestion you can ever give me. You can't possibly know everything, right? And that's what's so amazing, because within minutes, look at, this was the last one I poured. And then these are just, yeah. So it'll start to turn the resin. You don't have to put like a baking soda or a powder or any kind of substance, because with the silicone molds, they'll just pop out. Okay, let's pop these out and let's see if they're ready to pop out. So now I'm going to test out like what will fit. So I'm just going to put that little guy in there. See if that big one will fit. I think that it will. Oh my goodness. So we could do the smaller one, and because since the frame sticks out, I'm not worried about like these overlapping. So we could do that one. Do a little mushroom family. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's time to have some fun with color. I do want to add a little pop of red, though I'll tone it down. So this is Fusion's Cranberry. So it's kind of a muted red. It's easier to paint them while you're holding them, you know, not while they're attached to the picture. And then for these, I'm going to be using some of the Woodwick, which is a brownish in color. You know, mushrooms are, and that's what they are. Mushrooms are usually a lot of the times brown. But this is really just the first coat. Once the first coat dries, then we can play with some shading with some other colors. And then for this little guy, we're going to be doing some Bohemian Gold by Melange. Oh. It's funny how shading will make all these coordinate together. Okay, time to paint on the mushrooms a little bit more. I've got some cashmere for the bases. Okay, now we're going to finish them up by doing a little bit of dry brushing. That means minimal paint on my brush. Still too much. Just letting it hit out. The IOD molds, they're, oh my gosh, they just have so much detail. Look how it just touches that and just hits those little details. So now I'm going to add some Bellwood. Same thing, dry brush. Now to hold this back on, I'm just going to run some glue. It's pretty tight in there. And then I'm going to put a backing on, so I'll have two like glue here. Take this little hanger off. Just take a ruler and X-Acto knife and I'll try my best to make a straight line and clean it up. Okay, so now we can start gluing them in there. Oh, are they not beautiful? I think hot glue will be just fine. Now for this frame, luckily, I mean, it doesn't have glass or any type of backing, but as you can see, I don't have to cut out a circle. I can cut out a square. I just need to measure 8.5. By 6.5. I'm going to use my grid pattern here so I stay straight, so that and that line up. Or the thing itself is not completely straight. That's okay. Oh, there you go. Oh. So to make it thick where it needs to be, I cut out 2 pieces, kind of like I did previously. So I'm just going to take some hot glue and then go ahead and glue them together. For this one, I'm going to do it long way. So same thing, music sheet, just like we had done earlier with the transfer gel. Okay, we'll go ahead and get this. I am going to paint it. Now this has a lot of detail areas and I want the paint to be able to stick somewhat. We're gonna prime it with some shellac. So for the paint color for the frame, I'm gonna do Flour Sack, my go-to for old white chippy. You mix with equal parts water. And you stir it for 2 minutes until it's incorporated. You'll see it bubble. It's aerating. And then you sit it off to the side and let it thicken about 2 to 10 minutes. There's just something so wonderful about a white, chippy, crackling, crazing paint, even though this is not the finished coat. Oh, my heart is always happy when I see all of that. The amazing thing about being somebody who thrifts is that this frame gives off the mid-century modern vibe, you know, and then this frame, this ornate frame, gives off that farmhouse, Victorian, cottagey kind of core vibe. So, which leads me to want to do IOD's little sheep on there. So it is amazing. It just all depends on what we find out and about as thrifters. Ooh, the magic. I can see why they say it's amazing. I ended up with the leftover doing these little wheat, I think maybe it is. Ooh. For the base color for the sheep, I'm going to do picket fence. And I'll go ahead and do those in picket fence also. So I'm not sticking with the white. I'm going to do some aging wax on it just to give, so that it matches, you know, the paper a little bit more. It's not so bright white. So I just want to blend it in, give it that aged look. I love how aging wax goes into those cracks and craisins. See, oh, how it brings it out. Sometimes we just need to get the whole pieces together. And then we can see what we have. Okay, so this is probably going to be scary, but I think even though I stained this with coffee stain, it's still too clean to go with this. So don't make fun of me. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Sometimes you just go with your instinct. Not saying that the instinct hasn't ever led me down the wrong path. That's what it needed. It just needed to have some dirt on it, some aging wax on it. So definitely going to be tight enough, huh? It's always nice to finish up your backs. Just looks nice and professional. Even on a frame as small as this. I think hot glue is plenty strong to hold on a piece of paper and cardboard. Sometimes you just eyeball it. Finish up with a hanging system. Just a simple little, these are not very heavy. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and what did you think? Did I help you go get into your stash of frames? Are you like me? Let me know down in the comments below that you're like, oh, look at the box of frames. I gotta take a peek. I just gotta take a peek. And if it is rounded, somehow it is in my hand and I am buying it. So I hope that I have given you a few ideas of what to do with some old frames. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and let me know which one of the frames I made over, made into something new, was your favorite. So again, thanks for watching today's video, and always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out this channel for the first time and you enjoyed today's content and you'd like to see more, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we've uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.